Hi guys, this is Becca. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going over my January 2021 budget, and you'll notice that it is in a new format. So as I have talked about in some other videos, I purchased a plum paper planner for 2021 and I'm so excited to move into it. And part of the reason I purchased the planner was because I could add so many customizations, and one of those was extra pages for my budget. However, all the pages for my budget are in the back of the planner, and they are not quite tailored to what I needed. So I actually am using the last pages in my monthly portion that come after the end of the month. So 31st is the last day of the month, and I designed these pages and to fit in the planner, and I glued them, or I taped them over what was there. So I'll show you what it looks like. This is what the page looked like, and it was just supposed to be like going over your goals and then a bill tracker, which I added. But since I had so many pages of bill trackers, I knew I wouldn't actually need that. So I decided that this would work best for me, and this is what I'm going to try to do moving forward. I actually designed this little page to go with the monthly subscription kit from Plum Paper that I ordered because I loved how this looked, and because I was putting it in my planner, I really wanted it to match. So as you can see, I already decorated my planner for January. I actually filmed it, but it was so long and so unorganized that I was like, I'm not actually going to share that, and maybe I'll start in February once I've kind of gotten more of the hang of it. But I just put all the stickers that come with a Plum Paper subscription kit throughout my month, and I'm excited to use it. If you like these stickers or this planner and you're interested in purchasing it, you can actually get 10% off your first purchase with my referral code. So you can either leave that in a comment down below, or you can go over to my profile and email me your email address if you don't want to share it publicly, and then I can share it with you. So anyway, let's get into it. So this month, I think it's going to be kind of a new start for us. Obviously, we're doing some new categories and working our budget a little bit differently in the new year. So I'm not going to show you my first 4 income sources. Those are 2 for me and 2 for my husband Jared, just mostly for his privacy. But this miscellaneous income section, I think this month is going to be $16.55, and that includes income that we get from the people who are renting our house, which is another whole long story, and I will link a video explaining that up above. But we bought a house and we're not moving until March, so we have renters in there right now. And I'm actually gonna do this to make it easier to write. So I think our total income for January is gonna be $82.49. And this is actually more than in the past, because previously how I've been planning for Jared's income is I took an average of what he had been making and I planned for that. But after we finished basically our 2020 year, I reran the numbers and his average had gone up a lot. So I'm now accounting for that new average because every year he makes more from his work, and I expect him to start taking on more responsibilities and learning new skills, so he'll be able to charge more for what he does. He is self-employed and he works kind of doing some architectural CAD stuff. And then he's also a musician, so he makes money from that. But that is the amount that I want to say we'll get this month. I didn't include a stimulus check just because I don't want to plan on money that isn't there, since they haven't, that's not fully official yet. If it comes, that would be great, and I do have a plan for it, but I don't want to bank on it. So, starting with our bills, the first one is our tithe, and this isn't technically a bill, but we are Christians and we believe in giving to our church and other organizations. So, I think that's going to be $700, which is just our income minus the money that we receive from the renters. Our own rent and water, I think, is going to be $14.50. This is variable each month because the water amount changes, but the rent is always $13.35. My phone bill, last month and the month before that, I tried doing a new thing. So I actually get a stipend or reimbursement from one of my companies for my phone bill of phone and internet of $50. And I was writing like the phone bill minus that and not including it as income, but it was getting confusing, and I just decided to do it as income at the top and then include my full phone bill. So this will be $44. Finally, I am done paying for a stupid 2-year phone plan that I had for my last phone, which doesn't even work. Our Wi-Fi is $61.10. I guess I should zero. Our electricity, just guessing, I think is going to be $65. I always just take what we paid either last month or last year. This is the first month that I will have been in the apartment for a whole year, so I used what we spent in January of 2020 to figure out January 2021. Our car insurance, $154. This is through Progressive. Jared's health insurance is $161. And our renter's insurance is $12.09. And those are all our just regular bills. And then these are all bills for the house that we bought. We're currently paying the bills, and our renters just pay them back to us, basically, so that our name is on all the contracts, because they're only in there for a short amount of time. It didn't make sense for them to sign up for all their own utilities. So our mortgage is $1,200. And I just skipped a line so that it was clear where the break is. Our Wi-Fi over there is $69.81, and honestly, I cannot wait to move because that Wi-Fi is so much better than the Wi-Fi that we have here, which is terrible. Our water, sewer, and trash we pay to the city, and that is, I already got the bill for January, so I know it's going to be $86.67. Our electricity and natural gas, I have been shocked. They've like doubled over the past 2 months because the renters were using Christmas lights, and natural gas costs rose because the house is heated with gas. So I'm just going to use the costs that they were this month. It's crazy pants how much they are to me. And it's also because of this stupid deal with our electricity, where if you use between 1,000 and 2,000 kilowatt hours, it's only 5 cents per kilowatt hour. But if you use under 1,000, which they always do because it's a tiny house, it's 16 cents per kilowatt hour. And I'm so mad because I thought that this plan would be the cheapest, and it's actually so expensive. So I'm actually weighing my options if there's a better deal out there, but there's an early like termination fee, and no one else has good rates for if you use under 1,000 kilowatt hours. So I think we're just going to have to keep it, but I'm not happy about it. So our total for all the bills, I think, is going to be $4,412. And then, honestly, I'm not really going to do that math because I like having the zeros in my budget. And then flipping to the other side now with our expenses. Grocery and household is going to be, I'm actually increasing this budget for the year. I used to do $400 a month, but now I'm doing $420 a month because I just felt like $400 wasn't enough, and grocery costs seem to be rising. I don't know, but it was just really a struggle. We eat all of our, or not all, but I try to make most of our meals at home and to eat very healthy foods, so it just wasn't enough. So this is what I'm trying out, and we'll see if we can still stick to $400, but I just didn't want to be disappointed if we didn't. For eating out, I'm giving us $180, and I think that's what I'm going to give us always moving forward now. Gas, I'm only putting $50 here. I work at home, and I also drive a Prius, and Jared works partly from home, so we don't really do much driving. Also, pandemic, so I just feel like we won't need more than $50, which is great. Our shopping / kind of allowance money is $150, and this is just for any shopping that wasn't really planned or doesn't specifically fit with groceries, things like home decor, anything like that we buy, new pillows, that kind of thing. Beauty, I always put $50 here. I don't always use it, but sometimes I need new makeup, and I like to have that there. Subscriptions, I think, so usually I put $60 here, but in January, my email or my domain for the website I have for my business that I'm trying to launch renews, and that is, I think, like $219, something like that. So we're actually going to have $275 of subscriptions this month. And this business actually is an event planning business that I tried to launch last January, and then a pandemic happened. So that didn't really take off for me, but I'm really hoping that 2021 is my year for that, and I am excited to see where that goes. And gifts, we have my sister's birthday in January, and then we have a wedding, so I think we're going to spend probably $60 on gifts in January. I don't know if we're going to go to the wedding, but I think we'll still send a gift. And then Telecaster. This is a new item in my budget that actually you'll see in December as well when I do my December wrap up. This is a guitar that Jared wants, and so it's around $1,500. An American-made electric guitar. I don't really know a whole lot about them, but that's what it's called, and we started saving for that for him so that he can purchase it because he really wants it. He's saving all the money from his gigs right now, which he's not having very many because pandemic, but we're also putting a little bit aside from our regular budget. So this month we're going to put $100 towards that. And then he's also like working on other ways to pay for that. He's going to sell a different instrument. He has so many that he doesn't play anymore. And I think that if we get a stimulus check, he's going to use his portion on that. And then miscellaneous, I always put $100 here in this budget. And then that makes that total category $1,385. I am excited to have Christmas out of there because it has just been blowing off our budget for the past 3 months. And I am ready to have lower expenses in January, done with the holidays. So retirement, and this is our savings category. All of these are, these ones that have a little asterisk are sinking funds that I save for in cash. And how I do it is I always allocate a certain amount of money to these categories. If we spend the money that month, like we're going to spend our gift money, then I don't put anything in the cash envelope. But I just always make sure to allocate that much to those categories. So retirement, I have a Roth IRA. We are not currently putting very much in it because I am working on paying off my student loan. So when we finish that, we will start to contribute 15% of our income. But that's all we're doing right now. Travel, I'm going to put $200 there this month. We are supposed to go to Belize in February. I still don't know if that's going to happen, but I just got my passport in the mail and I'm so excited. So I'm really, really hoping that it's possible. It's basically a free trip. Sorry, because we have flyer miles and from a trip we didn't get to take when we got married in March. And because we have a free hotel, because it's for like a band reunion for Jared. He used to live there and he was in a band. So we just are like saving for like spending money. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I want to make sure that if it does, we have enough money set aside. Gifts, like I said, since we are planning on spending that money, I don't think we'll have any in the budget as saved, but I always leave it as a line item just in case. And this, I kind of have redone these funds. So in the past, I just did $100 for gifts and I was including Christmas in that. But then this year, I realized that there were a lot of Christmas costs that weren't gifts that I wish I had saved for. Specifically this year, we bought a tree because it was our first year married and our first year like living together. So we didn't have a tree or any decorations, things like that. But then there were also other costs, random Christmas costs. So I wanted to keep that as a separate item so I had money set aside for that. And I split up. It used to be $100 towards gifts. Now I'm doing $60 towards gifts and $40 towards Christmas. We always do $100 towards health costs, and this is like for any doctor's visits or medication or prescriptions, anything like that. My health insurance, it's through my mom because I'm under 26, and it pays for all of that, but Jared's is really just a health sharing plan, so his doesn't, so we like to have that money set aside. Auto. Since we have older cars, we are doing $150 a month towards auto now after we had 2 months where we had $500 of car expenses in a row, and it just really messed up our budget. So I upped our saving from $100 to $150, and hopefully that is enough. Home maintenance and renovation. So when we move in March, we plan to do some renovations immediately, and they're just little things like we want to rip out the baseboards and put in some nicer ones and repaint the inside and add like DIY a kitchen island. And so I think those things are going to cost around $1,500. So I split up the cost based on when I started saving, which was I think in November. And so I'm doing $300 a month to make sure that we have that money in there when we take possession of the house, because I just think it'll be way easier to get those things done when our furniture is not in there. So after that, we will continue just to save for home maintenance, which will be $180 a month. So that category is $850. And then our final category is debt, and this is the financial goal that we are working on right now. We do a zero-based budget, so all of our income equals all of our expenses, and everything that is left from all these other categories goes towards my student loan. I have about $15,000 left on it, and my plan is to pay it off this year. So this month, all of our surplus is $1,735, and that's how much I hope I'll be able to put towards my student loan. And if we get a stimulus check, I will use my portion entirely for this loan, but I don't know if that's going to happen, so stay tuned. It'll be very exciting if it does. But that is my budget for January. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and give this video a thumbs up. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Find myself on that old familiar pathway that leads me down that same old beat. But every day I find I'm leaving empty with water.